The conversation offers an intimate look into the life of a legendary judoka, revealing the sacrifices, emotional struggles, and philosophical perspectives that come with striving for greatness. This is a summary of Neil Adams' Judo, Olympics, Winning, Losing, and the Champion Mindset from the Lex Fridman podcast, where we break down the key insights, ideas, and takeaways from this content, giving you the gist so you can decide if you want the rest. This summary is brought to you by PerfectSummary.com, and you can find our podcast Perfect Summary everywhere you listen, and our videos on YouTube at Official Perfect Summary. The discussion explores the intense journey of Olympic-level judo and how it shapes identity and resilience, how emotional vulnerability and failure can define and refine the champion mindset, practical mental strategies for handling defeat, pressure, and the emotional weight of competition. The champion's journey, from Grimsby to global stage. Neil Adams, a two-time Olympic silver medalist and one of Britain's greatest judokas, walks through the evolution of his career, from growing up in a rough neighborhood to climbing the ranks in judo. His early exposure to physicality and confrontation shaped his toughness. Despite the odds, he quickly became a standout due to his fierce work ethic and unrelenting dedication. He credits his success to a mix of discipline, fear of losing, and the relentless pursuit of mastery. Adams's career wasn't marked only by triumphs. The disappointments, particularly his Olympic losses, shaped his character and philosophies even more deeply. #Tab, the psychology of losing and the price of near victory. Adams opens up about the gut-wrenching experience of losing Olympic finals twice. For years, the defeats haunted him, overshadowing the monumental achievement of simply medaling at that level. He describes how silver felt like a failure rather than a victory because gold was the only acceptable result in his mind. Lex and Adams dig deep into the emotional impact of these near wins. Adams admits he was emotionally unprepared to process the silver medals. He didn't attend closing ceremonies or fully absorb the Olympic experience. He was consumed by the idea that he'd failed. It's a profound reflection on how elite athletes often tie their self-worth to performance outcomes. Eventually, through years of introspection and support from loved ones, Adams reframed his perspective. He came to appreciate the journey, the growth, and what it meant to inspire others. The brutality and beauty of judo. Judo, Adams explains, is a full-body and full-mind sport. It's about control, leverage, and timing, but also about spirit. He breaks down the philosophy behind it, particularly the concept of seiryoku zenyo, maximum efficiency with minimal effort, and how it applies to life. He shares stories of epic matches, moments of pure adrenaline, and techniques that became his signature. One standout moment was when he became the first Briton to win a world judo title, a milestone that broke barriers for British judo. Adams also discusses how the competitive landscape changed over time, how weight cutting, rule shifts, and international talent pools made the sport even more demanding. Coaching, commentary, and giving back. After retiring, Adams took on roles as a coach and commentator, but both came with new challenges. As a coach, he had to shift from being a warrior to a mentor, helping others manage the same emotional struggles he once faced. As a commentator, he found joy in translating the sport to the masses while staying connected to its evolution. He talks about working with judo athletes from different countries and trying to help them not only win but also become more self-aware, emotionally grounded competitors. His mission is no longer just to produce champions, but to shape good human beings through sport. The mental game, vulnerability, ego, and growth. Lex and Adams reflect on how vulnerability and ego intersect in elite competition. Adams is remarkably open about how ego fueled his success, but also drove him to unhealthy extremes, crushing self-criticism, emotional breakdowns, and a reluctance to accept support. They discuss how loss can either destroy or transform a person. Adams emphasizes the importance of facing loss head-on, not numbing it or running from it. He recounts how only years later did he allow himself to cry over those Olympic defeats, releasing years of bottled-up emotion. There's also a powerful discussion about emotional intelligence, how understanding and managing your emotions is just as important as training your body. Adams explains how he now prioritizes self-compassion, balanced expectations, and emotional honesty in his work with young athletes. Martial arts as a philosophy of life. Adams's worldview, shaped by decades of martial arts practice, is deeply philosophical. He believes that judo teaches humility, control, respect, and patience, traits that serve a person far beyond the mat. The discipline of mastering movement and technique parallels the discipline needed for growth in life. He also speaks about mortality and the legacy he wants to leave, not just as a champion, but as someone who helped others grow. His message is one of transformation. True champions aren't only defined by medals, but by how they evolve, cope, and give back, training the mind and body in sync. The conversation closes with insights into the interplay between physical training and mental resilience. Adams advocates for a training regimen that pushes the body, but also allows space for reflection and mental growth. He discusses how meditation, visualization, and even moments of silence are tools that elite athletes often overlook. Recovery, both emotional and physical, is central to long-term success, and burnout is a real risk when the drive for perfection takes over. Conclusion. That's a wrap on Neil Adams, Judo, Olympics, Winning, Losing, and the Champion Mindset. If you found this summary valuable, make sure to follow, subscribe, and come back for more in-depth breakdowns of content. This summary is brought to you by PerfectSummary.com. You can listen to our podcast, Perfect Summary, available everywhere. And check out our video breakdowns on YouTube at Official Perfect Summary.